Alrighty, we've got the L-ring gasket. This comes from, it was either FCP or ECS. Like I said, it's been fine in my car. The only difference between this one and the Chinese one visually was the thickness of the black sealant, which I think, please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, it's just to do with sealing the oil and the coolant when it's cold. It's just one of the things that an MLS gasket requires. However, interestingly, the Chinese one looks closer to the genuine one than the L-ring. Anyway, I have cleaned the surfaces down again, and I'm very happy with how everything is looking. Gasket has gone straight on. Everything's sitting right. You know what I haven't done? I haven't seen if a 12mm bolt will go through an L-ring gasket. It does just. Doesn't go through as easy as it goes through the Chinese gasket. Well, let's hope to gosh that all works out all right. So, head is cleaned up as well. I'm going to drop the head on before there's a chance for anything to get dirty, and it's nice and heavy, so wish me luck. I'll hide that bucket of brake clean and oil. I didn't think this through. I'm going to block the camera view as this goes on. Okay, completely off. But we'll try and line it up this time. That's the back lined up. In the front, that's gone down. Head is on. Okay, I didn't pay attention to the washers. I know we dropped a few, and all of the main ones actually need to come out because the diesel bolts come with their own washers. That one's out. That one's out. Getting nervous. All right, we've got 4 washers in the end ones. So, let's put the diesel bolts in. It's tight through that gasket. I missed one. The holes in the gasket are definitely smaller on the L-ring. Come on. Missed a washer. But they do go through. Just. Yeah, I don't think I've actually mentioned on camera, but the 12mm holes in the head are more than adequate. And that's gone through. Okay, so all of them have gone through, but they are tight on that gasket. I'm going to take them out again now. Put a little film of oil on each one. And then we'll start threading them. It looks alright. To be fair, there is oil on them, but the test one that I did yesterday, this is what I did. Actually, I used that. I'll use that. Yeah, so the diameter holes in the L-ring is definitely tighter because that motor over there has a genuine gasket on it as well. The test motor, and the holes are fine for that. So the China gasket did copy it better in that sense. Wouldn't it be funny if the Chinese gasket's actually better than the L-ring? Start on. Come on. Come on. Alright. A little bit on there. Maybe a bit too much. Oh well. Right, they've all got a good coating of lube. Let's see if they all start alright. That one definitely has. See, this is where it gets exciting, because if the threads aren't perfectly straight, this is when they'll bind and there'll be a problem. Although I'm pretty confident they're perfectly straight. There is tolerance in the... Well, I guess the reason that they have an 11mm head bolt and then a 12mm hole is to allow for alignment issues and things not being 100% perfect. I'm just going to make sure they all start threading, and I'm going to use the impact, not to tighten them up, but just to thread them down, because the socket with oil on my fingers is hard to turn. It's a bit too slippery. Alright. We don't want to hear it click. Shouldn't be clicking. It clicked. Alright. So I'm gonna be dodgy because I can. He's getting reused. Don't tell anyone. We're gonna over-torque them. It is what it is. It's either that or wait another 4 days. Alright, this is the moment of truth. This is where we find out if the 12mm studs are going to bite down and actually torque up. They've all got oil on them. There is no ATF in sight. I just want to reiterate, if I'd have just done this without ATF in the first place, the original bolts would have been fine. But hey, if we end up with a stronger rod bolt, that's all good. Okay, so just so that you guys know what's going on, I have the snap-on set to 30 Newton meters. I'm going to follow the torque sequence that BMW recommend, which is very different to ARP, but we'll just see what it does. So we have 1, 2, first off. I just have the torque sequence on my phone. We'll see if we can mess it up. Alright, it goes that way. Alright, so the snap-on should beep when we get to 30 Newton meters. They've all got to go to 30, so we'll do that first. Try and do it in one movement. Thirty. 30. 2, 3. 4. 5. There it is, finally. Start to panic. 7. 8. 9. 30. You get so much leverage on this torque wrench, it is wild. Where's the other thing? Oh, it's here. I've already got it ready. Oh, why is this so nerve-wracking? Right, this one first. And even though this is the outer one, this still goes to 30 for the first sequence. It's crazy. The genuine, I mean, these are the 9mm bolts, but the Beamer bolts just twist. You can feel them twist. Alright, this one. 30. I'm trying really hard to not go over on the torque. 30. Alright. So, the next set is where it starts to get interesting. We do a degree movement. And even this first 90 degree, it starts to put a fair bit of force on it. So all of those are now done up to 30 Newton meters. We'll switch this over to degrees and we'll wind it up to 90. So it's 90 degrees. This one is first. So, $90. And that was 82 Newton meters. That was 82 Newton meters. Nice consistent. Number 3. Bit of force on it now. 84 Newton meters. So interestingly, these two, which were the first ones I did to 30 Newton meters, obviously the rest of the gasket would have still been puffed out. So maybe that's why they didn't go as high, maybe. I'm trying to make sense of everything we do. That's 90. 89 Newton meters, so they're getting tighter as we go. And that was this one. That's 69 Newton meters. $87, but I think it went a little bit further. The snap-on took a second to register then. Just what you want. 7. Okay. Getting tight. 84 Newton meters. And 89 Newton meters. Ooh. 93 Newton meters. They're getting tighter. Ooh, the engine started to move then. Got to pay a bit more attention. That one's 93 Newton meters. So that is now all of the main 10 bolts, the diesel bolts, have had 30 Newton meters, then 90, and they're all getting reasonably good amounts of torque. The next step following the normal M54 procedure is another 90, so I'm going to do that, and we'll see where the torque figures end up. This is where it starts to get pretty hard to yank on it, and why I thought I was stripping threads the other day. Actually. Alright. Oh, better go do number 1 first, I guess. Right. $90 and 112 Newton meters. 2. Hate that cracking sound. 90 and 112 newton meters. That's good. I'm upside down, I get confused. 3. That one. These feel tighter. 90. Holy shit, that was 149 newton meters. Hope you can see that. That's too much. Bloody hell. Alright, let's keep going. This is the problem with the diesel bolts. They go tight. That's probably enough torque to hold the head gasket down. 112? Why did that one go so tight? God knows. 5. I just wanted to make sure the camera was filming. Oh, this one's tight. Nah, it's too tight. 150. Okay, so that's 64 degrees and we're pulling 150 newton meters. That's enough. That's enough. I just got 90, 131 newton meters. I'm going to go back and check this. See, that's too tight. 134 newton meters. That one's enough. 134. Changing the sequence now. Let it reset. Come on. Reset. Oh, that's enough. 131. See, that followed on from the other one. Shit. I was going too quick then. The wrench didn't reset. Let's try again. See what it takes. Just cracked it a bit. That's 120 newton meters. Try this one. Oh, I've done it already. Is that one done? Yeah, okay. Alright, so that's the main 10 done. I'm going to go and put some torque into the end ones. And we'll see what these come up to. So these should only have 90 and then a 45 all up. So we'll do the 90. So that's 90. That one has 47 newton meters. This one, 90, that has 49 newton meters. Hate that clicking sound. 49 newton meters. Not enough lube on the threads, I guess. And 90 on this one. 49 newton meters. So they're all probably about tight enough. I'm going to see if we can feed another 30 degrees into these end ones. Now we'll go 45. Now turn it down to 45. Okay, pulled up 57 newton meters, which I think's enough for these end ones. 62 newton meters, probably went a bit far. 62. 62. It's weird how this one cracks. All right. I'm going to check the other ones, the main bolts. Most of them are pretty damn tight though. Let's see what happens. I'm going to set the torque wrench. I'm going to switch it back to Newton meters because I don't want to risk pulling the threads. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it to 135 Newton meters at this point. Keeping in mind that the ARPs go to 128. Actually, fuck it. We'll go to 140. 140 Newton meters. That's what we're going to shoot for on this block. Let's go. Oh, that's so tight. Right, 140 on that one. You probably can't see, but I'm holding the engine stand. The wheels are locked, but it'll just spin the whole thing. $140. Whew. Keep in mind, these are supposed to have had, this is the third torquing sequence, but it's supposed to be 90 degrees. But because these bolts don't stretch like the BMW bolts, I'm not going full 90. Oh, that one's torqued up. Felt good. Oh, 140. Oh, shit. That was 149. $146. 142. 144. 142. It's not good. Engine stand was moving. That was 141. That's hard. Okay, so everybody knows what's happened. I'm out of breath. When I was doing the testers yesterday, I was being brutal, and I just did the BMW torquing sequence, and we ended up at 155 Newton meters. Now this block, I was trying to be a bit more careful with it, and I wanted to watch the Newton meters as we went through all of those steps. And they're high. It all feels fine. I don't like when it cracks, but they feel right. I know it might sound a bit strange. I'm pretty happy with that. I might just see on the ones at the end. So we got the test block up to 80 Newton meters on the little bolts. So I set these two. I'll set them to 65. So they're going to move a bit, but yeah. All right. And it's also weird. The reason I can't just do the BMW sequence, because these bolts don't stretch as much as the BMW ones. If I did them the full BMW sequence, they'll be much tighter than a BMW head bolt. Okay. Yes, I hope that makes sense. We've got 140 on every bolt. Every bolt is stretched. I felt them yield. And you do feel them yield because they get tight and then they go easy. And that happened on the first 90-degree turn. So they're stretching. And I will show you the BMW stretches before you finish here. Right. Let's see if we can get these up to 65. Please don't snap. Please don't snap. Please don't thread. Okay, 65. I hate how it bounces like that. I'll try and do it in a fluid movement. Oops, 68. $65. We are overstretching the bolts. 65, 67. I'm happy with that. That head is on tight. Wow. You have so much leverage when you've got a torque wrench like this. All right. It's on. This is what I've been freaking out about all week. We have a tight, bolted down cylinder head. Just kind of hope it makes compression with my bottom end build. Oh my God. What a faff. But there we go. Diesel, 12mm head bolts. Running more torque than ARPs. Honestly, I probably could go tighter, but I don't think I need to. We are 22 Newton meters tighter than an ARP head stud, and I hope that's enough. That's all I'm going to say. There's where the logic is. I hope that makes sense. All right, I said I was going to show you how much they stretch. So here we have the original OEM head bolts that were in it. These are the ones that I torqued up and messed with. That one is one of the ones that was the problem, because you can see it's got the assembly lube on it, and I'll show you the height difference. All right, so I mean, hopefully the camera's picking that up. But the ones that I had stretched yesterday, and I only ever did them to the BMW torquing sequence, so that 30, 90, 90, 45, they're longer than the factory ones. Which makes me think maybe when they are assembled in the factory, they don't torque them as much as they tell the dealers to torque them. Interestingly, the dealer procedure for the head is basically cleaning it how I cleaned it, the block. So maybe they get you to torque them a little bit higher than they torque them at the factory to offset any imperfections in the surfaces. I really don't know. I do know that we now have a head on. I'll get the cams bolted on, but I'm going to get this video edited, and then tomorrow we'll start on the Lamech. Wow. What a bloody kerfuffle those bolts are. I'm also going to go and tell the 14 or 15 people I've been talking to a week about this that have done similar jobs that it's torqued up to 145 Newton meters, and just make sure they're happy with that. I think I mentioned it in either this video or yesterday's video, but I did speak to somebody who got his torqued up to 195 Newton meters. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing here. We're just playing. Hey, and if it works out, I get that threesome with the Victoria's Secret models. Remember? Thank you, God. All right. We'll catch you on the next one. Almost forgot. 12mm bolt slides through the china and the genuine gasket really easy. So the L-ring does have a slightly smaller hole for the bolts. Kind of wish I used the china, but I know the L-ring works. Something that is different, the L-ring did have a coating over the whole gasket, where the china one did not. Oh well.